Hey, Warren Eckstein here. You're getting ready to delve into my Pet Aerobics class, my exercise for your dogs and cats. But before we do that, I want to spend a little bit more time telling you why it's so critical, why it's so important for your dogs and cats. A sound mind is a sound body. That really says it all. But as always, before you start with any exercise program, I want to make sure you check with the vet, maybe a little stress test for your dog or cat. Now, you all know my background by now. Many years, 50, 60 years in the world of animal behavior. Pretty much worked on every continent in the world. Not Antarctica, but let me talk to you about behavior. Probably, without a doubt, the majority of behavioral issues I've dealt with in my years, thousands and thousands of dogs, primarily due, and even cats, primarily due to lack of exercise. Lack of exercise is such a major problem for dogs and cats, more so for dogs because cats can exercise within a household. What I recommend for people to do, and what I'm going to be recommending here, is that the two biggest problems, again, are lack of exercise and lack of education. That's what causes behavioral problems with your dogs. You heard me right, education and exercise, as well as poor feeding habits. A lot of people talk to me about feeding their dogs, how they should feed their dogs. And they're told you can feed the dog once a day, you can feed the dog twice a day. Here's my recommendation, especially if you have a dog or cat that may be a little on the, as my mother would say, the big bone or the chubby side. What you need to do is what I do, okay? I'm 6 foot, about 185 pounds, okay? But I was heavier as a child. And I learned over the years the best way to maintain my weight is to eat a lot of small meals throughout the day. I'm a noshi. Now, you can't have your dogs and cats noshi, but what you can do is I always recommend, if possible, at least 2 feedings a day. And for some people, maybe 3. Now, I spend a lot of time home because I do a lot of my shows from my house. So my guys get fed 3 times a day. Not more food, just smaller amounts. A full belly makes them a little bit more tired as well. It's like the kid who gets too much energy is not getting enough food. The same thing happens with our dogs and cats. Most of the behavior, as I said, is directly due to misdirected energy. What do? Your dog would rather chase a ball than chew your shoes. Let's be realistic. Many problems that dogs have, whether it be barking, biting, running out the door, jumping on people, humping everything in sight, digging holes, ignoring you when you call them, separation anxiety. These are all behavioral issues that can be directly related, for the most part, to either lack of exercise, lack of education, or poor habits. That's what prompted me to write the book, Pet Aerobics, in 1974, 1984, or whenever I wrote it. The bottom line is that the book is no longer available. I'm not pushing the book, but I'm pushing what the book was about. So many people had contacted me. At that point, I was doing a lot of television. I was on the Today Show as the Pet Authority. I was on Regis and Kathy Lee, the new Mickey Mouse Club, and so many other shows talking about it. And I would start realizing that, let me demonstrate some of the exercises that you can do with your dogs and maybe with your cats. But a lot of the dogs and cats weren't getting enough exercise, and thank goodness that you guys went to the shelters and rescues and adopted. But a lot of the dogs you adopted were a little bit older and maybe not used to living in a household, running more free. Maybe they got more exercise. So a lot of people started calling me, especially during COVID, and even now with behavioral issues that might be directly related. However, let me state for the fact, and gosh, I'm going to get in trouble for doing it. Training, education, critical. That's what causes most of the problems. But lack of exercise is right up there. Let's face it, tired dogs, tired cats sleep. So what I'm going to do in this course is I'm going to go over specific things that you can do to feed your dogs better, to exercise your dogs and your cats better. Now, in terms of exercise, there are different breeds of dogs and what I call the blended breeds now. And because of that, certain education, certain training, and certain behavioral issues that come up might be directly related to your specific type of dog or even the age your dog may have. For example, you're not going to be jogging with a 14-year-old dog. You might be taking little strolls around the neighborhood, which is important. And I know what you think, but I live in the Midwest. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm in upstate New York. What do I do in the wintertime? Most homes have a staircase. Not you have a friend with one. Staircase sprints up and down the stairs. I had Al Roker from the Today Show running up and down steps with dogs to get exercise, well, for him, but for the dogs as well. Make it fun. I always say, I remember Cher said this at one time, that exercise is great after you're done, not during. I don't buy that, especially with our dogs and our cats. If we can make the exercise fun, if we can make the exercise part of the training, part of the playtime, you'll start noticing changes in your dog's behavior. And more important than anything else I can tell you is the bond that you're going to establish with your pets. So I know what people are saying. Come on, Warren, Pet Aerobics, are you crazy? Take it from me. More than 50% of pets living in North America, even my friends in England, are overweight, if not obese. In many cases, they are obese. A lot of people say, I'm going to get the weight off my dog real fast. I'm going to get the weight off my cat real fast. No. What I want to do here is we're going to do it nice and slow. Every week or so, I'm going to post something different. And what I want you to understand is the best way to get your dog or cat in shape if they're overweight is to lose a little bit of weight at a time and build up that muscle. Just losing weight without building up muscle is not great either. But depending on your dog, and have this conversation with your vet, depending on the dog, you want to build up that muscle and exercise a lot of that bad behavior away. I know I'm talking a lot about this, but you have no idea. You know, I've been on the radio for a lot of years. You guys listen to me. I know you do. And if you listen to the questions I get, my dog is jumping, he's running out of the door, he's ignoring me when I call him when he comes. Why do you think a lot of dogs don't come back when their guardians call him in the backyard? The dog realizes that, and you call him, you're taking him inside. He wants more exercise. He wants to stay out a little bit longer. It's not because he's ignoring you. Now I'm not coming back. That's not what it's all about, folks. What it's all about is, in fact, that the dog is letting you know that he needs more exercise. Why is he digging holes? A lot of different reasons for digging holes. Very often it's frustration, getting rid of anxiety, getting rid of stress. Dogs feel anxiety, dogs feel stress. The best way to get rid of anxiety and stress, not with a pill, folks, not with a pill. It's with good exercise and good diet. Hope you enjoyed this. We're going to talk more about it in the future. It's something that's so dear to my heart. Again, when I wrote Pet Aerobics, and the book's not available, maybe it's not available on Amazon somewhere, it broke my heart going into people's homes and seeing these incredible dogs. I remember working with a basset hound once, and the basset hound, actually, an interesting story, the people owned the funeral home. The basset hound, a beautiful dog, was just so obese. The nails were long, the stomach, and not trying to be funny here, but the dog was in the snow, you would see the stomach trail. We got the weight off that dog, and we got him down to a good size, and it was all a matter of getting the guardians to focus. I'd like you to do, this may sound a little eccentric, heaven forbid I should have it said eccentric. Like you to do is start taking pictures of your dog or cat. Take pictures of what they look like today and what they're going to look like tomorrow. And I know what you're saying. Warren, my dog's not overweight. My cat's not overweight. Exercise is not just for dogs and cats that are overweight or people that are overweight. Exercise is good for our entire body, our immune system. Helps prevent all types of arthritis conditions, other type heart problems, all kinds of problems. So if you're not on my YouTube channel, shoot over there, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. That's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Before I go, of course, give your pets a big hug and a kiss.